The crimson sun bled across the horizon, painting the desolate landscape of Xerxes Prime in hues of blood and ash. It was a scene that had become all too familiar to Commander Riker, his weathered face a mask of grim determination. The endless war against the Vord, a relentless, insectoid race of conquerors, had ravaged the galaxy for decades. Their insatiable hunger for expansion had swallowed countless worlds, leaving behind only ruins and a chilling silence. Riker's squad, the remnants of the elite 7th Legion, stood amidst the ruins of the once vibrant city, their armor scarred and their spirits weary. The Vord had attacked with brutal efficiency, leaving no survivors. The only sound was the mournful wind whistling through the shattered buildings, a chilling reminder of the relentless tide of war. "Any sign of the enemy?" Riker asked, his voice raspy from exhaustion. Sergeant Eliana, her youthful face hardened by the ravages of war, shook her head. "Nothing, sir. They seem to have vanished without a trace." Riker frowned, his gaze sweeping across the desolate landscape. The Vord were known for their ruthlessness, their swift and deadly strikes. To disappear without a trace was unusual. "Something isn't right," Riker muttered, his gut churning with unease. "They wouldn't just leave without a fight. There's something else going on." He activated his comm, the static crackling as he contacted his superiors. "Commander Riker to base. Do you have any intel on the Vord's movements?" The response was delayed, the crackle of static growing louder. Then, a voice, strained and distorted, broke through. "Commander, we've picked up a strange signal. It's coming from the unexplored sector beyond the Veil, a place we haven't dared to venture into." "What kind of signal? And what is this Veil they speak of?" Riker questioned, his mind racing. He had never heard of such a place. "We don't know yet, but it's unlike anything we've ever encountered. We're analyzing it now. It's powerful, disruptive. We believe it could be an interdimensional rift." Riker's blood ran cold. An interdimensional rift. The very concept sent shivers down his spine. It was a notion dismissed as mere legend, a terrifying possibility that had been relegated to the realms of myth. "And what about the Vord?" Riker pressed, his voice tight with worry. "We believe they've been using the rift to transport their forces. It seems they're planning something massive. We've intercepted coded communications, but we haven't been able to decipher them." Riker felt a surge of dread. This was beyond anything he had ever imagined. It was as if the universe itself was conspiring against them, drawing them closer to an unknown horror. His only solace was the hope that the signal, the unknown threat, was not the Vord's sole weapon. "Send me the coordinates," Riker commanded, his voice resolute. "We'll investigate this signal. We need to know what's coming. For the galaxy's sake, we have to be ready." The comm crackled again, and the voice faded into static. Riker closed his eyes, his mind racing, as he stared at the crimson sun. What lay beyond the Veil, and what awaited them in the unknown, was a question that would soon be answered. And the answer, he knew, would change everything. The air crackled with a palpable tension as Riker relayed his findings to the fleet command. The Vord's sudden disappearance and the enigmatic signal, a guttural hum resonating through the void, painted a picture of a looming threat unlike any they had encountered before. The prospect of a dimension-spanning invasion sent shivers down the spines of even the most seasoned soldiers. "Sir, we have a potential lead," reported Lieutenant Zara, her voice laced with urgency. She held a holographic image of a scout vessel, its hull scarred and battered, its beacon sending out a faint distress signal. It was on patrol in the sector bordering the Veil. It intercepted a Vord vessel, then disappeared shortly after. Riker's gaze hardened. "Any information on the Vord ship?" "Only fragments," Zara replied. "It appears to be a modified transport, much larger than anything we've seen before, and equipped with a cloaking device." The implications were chilling. The Vord had been preparing for this, investing resources in technology to breach the Veil and unleash their fury on the galaxy. This was not a mere incursion, but a full-scale invasion. Riker knew they were running out of time. Every second that passed was a second closer to the enemy breaching the Veil. He needed to act fast. He needed to find the scout vessel and, more importantly, find out what happened to the Vord transport. "Prepare a rescue mission," Riker ordered. "Lieutenant Zara, you're in command. Locate and secure the scout vessel, analyze its data, and get me any information you can on the Vord transport." Zara nodded, her face resolute. "Aye, sir." The mission was perilous. The sector bordering the Veil was a treacherous labyrinth, its gravity fields volatile and its radiation levels dangerously high. The Vord, too, were likely lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. As Riker watched Zara and her team prepare for departure, a wave of dread washed over him. He knew that this was a fight they couldn't afford to lose. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. The scout vessel, a sleek, gray vessel, was discovered adrift in a field of debris. Its hull was punctured, its systems barely holding on. The crew, a ragtag bunch of seasoned veterans, had managed to send out a faint distress signal before succumbing to the harsh conditions. Zara and her team boarded the vessel, their faces grim as they examined the data logs. The scout crew had witnessed the Vord transport exiting the Veil, its massive bulk shimmering in the ethereal light emanating from the dimensional rift. The transport, cloaked and silent, had vanished into hyperspace before the scout crew could raise the alarm. The data logs were fragmented, but they revealed a chilling truth. The Vord transport was not alone. It was followed by a vast armada of warships, their hulls dark and menacing, their weapon systems crackling with raw energy. The Vord were coming, and they were coming in force. As Zara presented her findings to Riker, the weight of the situation pressed down on them. The Vord had been planning this invasion for a long time. They had carefully chosen their moment, waiting for the opportune time to strike. They had massed their forces, prepared for a devastating assault. "What are we going to do, sir?" Zara asked, her voice barely a whisper. Riker's eyes narrowed, his gaze hardened. He knew that they were facing an unprecedented threat. The Vord had proven their strength, their cunning, their determination. But they were not the only ones with strength, cunning, and determination. "We fight," Riker said, his voice firm. "We fight for our people, for our galaxy, for our very existence. We fight for the right to live, to love, to hope. We fight for everything we hold dear." He turned to his team, his gaze sweeping across their faces. "This is our moment, our chance to make a stand. We will not be defeated. We will not be broken. We will fight, and we will win." His words, fueled by conviction and hope, ignited a spark of determination in the eyes of his team. The Vord might have brought their might to their doorstep, but they had not calculated the indomitable spirit of the human race. The war had just begun, and the galaxy would soon witness the might of humanity, a power even the Vord had underestimated. The rescue mission was a desperate gamble. Riker's fleet, battered and depleted after the initial skirmishes, was hardly in a position to engage in a full-fledged battle. However, the intelligence from the scout vessel's data logs was undeniable. The Vord were not merely invaders, they were conquerors, with an insatiable thirst for expansion. Their technology, their tactics, everything about them screamed of a species designed for warfare. The Vrontian Empire, the dominant force in the galaxy for millennia, had faced many threats in its long history, but none like this. Their civilization, rooted in logic and order, was built on a foundation of technological advancement and unwavering military strength. The Vrontians were pragmatists, valuing efficiency above all else, their vast, gleaming warships testaments to their unwavering commitment to technological superiority. The Eldarian Collective, their eternal rivals, were a stark contrast. They valued harmony and balance, their vast, organic ships shimmering with bioluminescent energy, a reflection of their symbiotic relationship with the cosmos. The Eldarians were spiritualists, believing in the interconnectedness of all things, their advanced technology an extension of their understanding of the natural world. This fundamental difference in ideology had manifested in their cultures, their philosophies, and most importantly, their approach to warfare. The Vrontians viewed conflict as a necessary evil, a means to an end, while the Eldarians saw it as a tragic inevitability, a consequence of the natural order. This philosophical chasm had led to centuries of skirmishes and battles, each side vying for dominance, yet always wary of the other's destructive power. But the Vord were a wild card, a force that threatened to upset the delicate balance that had been established. Their motivations were unclear, their tactics brutal, and their technology far beyond anything either the Vrontians or the Eldarians had ever encountered. The Vord's invasion was not merely a territorial dispute, it was a cosmic plague, an existential threat that threatened to consume all life in its path. The scout vessel's data logs confirmed the Vord's immense firepower. Their warships, cloaked in an advanced energy shield, were capable of delivering devastating attacks from a distance. Their weapons, far more advanced than any known technology, could obliterate entire fleets in a matter of seconds. The sheer scale of their invasion force was staggering, a vast armada that dwarfed the combined fleets of the Vrontian Empire and the Eldarian Collective. The implications were chilling. The Vord were not content with mere conquest. They sought annihilation. The two galactic powers, for all their animosity, were now forced to face a common enemy. The future of the galaxy hung in the balance, and the decision to unite, however difficult, seemed inevitable. The war between the Vrontians and the Eldarians, a conflict that had spanned generations, suddenly felt like a petty squabble in the face of a far greater threat. Riker's gamble was paying off. As they approached the derelict scout vessel, a pulse of energy emanating from the ship drew their attention. It was a distress signal, a beacon of hope in the face of overwhelming odds. It was a message that confirmed what they had feared: the Vord were here, and they were coming for them all. The Vord were relentless. Their invasion, a tidal wave of destruction, swept across the galaxy with chilling efficiency. The Vrontian and Eldarian fleets, once formidable powers, were overwhelmed. The Vord possessed a technological edge so vast it felt like they were fighting with weapons from a different era. Their ships, sleek and menacing, cloaked and uncloaked at will, leaving entire fleets blind and vulnerable. Their energy weapons, crackling with an unsettling, almost organic hum, could disintegrate entire star systems with a single barrage. The once vibrant, bustling civilizations of the Vrontian Empire were now reduced to smoldering ruins. Planets, once teeming with life, were now barren wastelands, their atmospheres choked with the fumes of burning cities and the acrid stench of death. In the aftermath of Vord assaults, only silence remained, a deafening silence punctuated only by the mournful sigh of the wind as it swept through the skeletal remains of once proud structures. The Vrontian cities, a testament to their ingenuity and artistry, now lay in smoldering ruins. The gleaming metal towers that pierced the sky now stood like broken teeth, their once bright windows now vacant eyes staring vacantly into the abyss. The bustling marketplaces, once filled with the joyous cacophony of trade and laughter, now echoed with the mournful cries of survivors sifting through the rubble. The Vord, however, seemed unconcerned with collateral damage. Their ultimate goal was conquest, and they were willing to pay any price to achieve it. They seemed to have no regard for the lives they destroyed, no remorse for the civilizations they shattered. Their single-minded focus on conquest had left a trail of death and despair in its wake, a macabre testament to their relentless ambition. The Vord's advanced technology allowed them to subdue planets with devastating speed. They possessed weapons capable of rendering entire planetary defenses obsolete, turning fortified cities into smoldering craters with a single, devastating strike. They had mastered the art of instantaneous teleportation, allowing them to deploy their troops anywhere they wished, leaving the defenders perpetually on the defensive. Their tactics were as brutal as their technology. They employed scorched earth strategies, leaving planets devoid of life as a warning to any who dared to resist. They had mastered biological warfare, unleashing devastating plagues that ravaged populations and destroyed entire ecosystems. Their ruthlessness extended to the treatment of their prisoners, who were often subjected to horrific experiments and forced to endure unspeakable torture. The Vord's invasion had fractured the galaxy. The fragile alliance between the Vrontians and the Eldarians had been shattered under the weight of the Vord's overwhelming power. The galaxy, once a tapestry of diverse cultures and civilizations, was now a patchwork of fear, despair, and endless warfare. The once vibrant galactic community was now a desolate wasteland. The Vord's invasion had brought a chilling new reality to the galaxy, a reality where civilizations were wiped out in the blink of an eye, where entire species were extinguished before they even had a chance to fight back. The Vord had proven to be a foe unlike any the galaxy had ever seen, a force of destruction that threatened to consume the very fabric of existence. The news of the Vord's invasion, initially met with disbelief and denial, had sunk into the collective psyche of the Vrontian Empire like a lead weight. The Vord's relentless assault, their disregard for life, and the utter devastation they wreaked on everything in their path, had instilled a fear unlike anything the Vrontians had known. The once proud empire, basking in the glory of its technological prowess and its mastery of the stars, was now reduced to a shadow of its former self, clinging to survival in the face of a relentless and seemingly unstoppable foe. Within the heart of the Vrontian capital, nestled within the labyrinthine corridors of the imperial palace, a young officer named Captain Serafina stood staring out at the endless expanse of the star field beyond the massive viewport. Her face, normally animated and full of life, was now etched with a deep-seated weariness, her eyes reflecting the desolation that permeated the galaxy. Serafina had seen too much death, too much destruction. The endless cycle of violence, the endless pursuit of power, the endless cycle of war, had left her soul weary and her heart heavy. The war with the Eldarians, a conflict that had spanned generations, had been a defining feature of Serafina's life. Raised in a military family, she had dedicated her life to serving the Empire, believing that her duty lay in protecting her people and defending the Vrontian way of life. But the invasion had brought about a seismic shift in her perspective. The Eldarians, once seen as enemies, now seemed like mere pawns in a grander, more insidious game. The Vord, with their relentless hunger for conquest and their disregard for life, were a threat unlike any they had encountered before. Serafina, unlike many of her peers, had always been a pragmatist, a realist, and a believer in diplomacy. She had never understood the need for conflict, the need for bloodshed, and the need for endless warfare. The constant cycle of violence had only brought pain and suffering, and she couldn't bear the thought of seeing her people, her world, fall victim to the same fate. The Vord's invasion had shattered her faith in the Vrontian way, in the Empire's ideals, and in the very purpose of war. She saw the futility, the pointless bloodshed, and the endless cycle of pain and destruction. She realized the true cost of conflict, the immeasurable cost of human life, and the devastating impact on countless civilizations. Serafina's heart ached for the countless innocent lives lost, the families torn apart, and the worlds ravaged by the Vord's unrelenting onslaught. She was determined to find a way to end this war, to find a way to bring peace to a galaxy consumed by chaos and despair. "There must be another way," she murmured, her voice barely audible over the hum of the starship's engine. "There must be a way to end this cycle, to bring peace and understanding to a galaxy on the brink of collapse." The thought sparked a flicker of hope within her, a fragile beacon in the darkness. She knew she wasn't the only one who felt this way, that there were others who had grown weary of war, who longed for a different future. Her quest for peace, for understanding, had just begun. She would find a way to end this war. She would find a way to bring peace to the galaxy. She had to. The Vrontian Empire, once a beacon of technological prowess, was a stark contrast to the brutal, unrelenting force of the Vord. Their ships, sleek and elegant, were marvels of engineering, bristling with weapon systems far surpassing anything the Vord had encountered. Each vessel was a testament to the Empire's mastery of physics and energy manipulation, capable of unleashing devastating barrages of plasma bolts and energy blasts. The Vrontians relied heavily on these weapons, their strategies built around the swift, decisive annihilation of their enemies. But this reliance on technology came with a dark consequence, a callous disregard for civilian casualties. In their pursuit of victory, the Vrontians saw their adversaries as mere obstacles to be eliminated, regardless of the collateral damage. Their weapons, designed to cripple entire fleets with a single volley, left whole worlds in ruins, their cities reduced to smoldering rubble. This indifference was not born of malice, but rather a warped sense of duty. For centuries, the Vrontians had believed they were the only species capable of safeguarding galactic order. Their enemies, whether they were the Eldarians or the Vord, were seen as threats to their carefully crafted society, their technology a necessary evil in the face of inevitable conflict. This rigid adherence to their own ideals blinded the Vrontians to the true cost of their actions. Their soldiers, trained from birth to be efficient killing machines, carried out their orders without question, their minds numbed by the constant barrage of war. The young recruits, fresh out of academy, were indoctrinated with the Vrontian way, their hearts hardened to the cries of the innocent. The Vrontian flagship, the Vanguard, was a testament to this technological dominance. Its sleek, diamond-shaped hull housed a staggering array of weapon systems, energy cannons capable of obliterating entire star systems, disruptor beams that could disable entire fleets, and a massive, multi-layered shield system that could withstand even the most powerful attacks. But beneath this outward display of power, the Vanguard was a microcosm of the Vrontian Empire itself, a machine of war fueled by a cold, calculating logic that left no room for compassion. The Vanguard's crew, comprised of the Empire's finest warriors and strategists, were a testament to their unwavering loyalty. They were the elite, the chosen few entrusted with defending the Vrontian way, their every action dictated by their rigid code of conduct. The young officers, eager to prove themselves in the face of this unprecedented threat, were instilled with the Vrontian ethos from the moment they set foot on the flagship. They were trained to see the Vord as an existential threat, their mission to eradicate them at any cost. However, even the most unwavering loyalty can be shaken by the sheer scale of the Vord invasion. As the Vord's relentless assault began to take its toll, cracks began to appear in the Vrontian facade. The officers, once confident in their superiority, were forced to confront the brutal reality of the situation. The relentless onslaught of the Vord, their seemingly endless numbers and relentless advances, began to erode their faith in their own cause. The once unshakable belief in their own righteousness was slowly replaced by a creeping sense of dread. The Eldarian Collective, a civilization built on the foundation of unity and adaptability, responded to the Vord invasion not with brute force, but with a calculated, patient strategy. While the Vrontian Empire clung to its technological superiority, the Eldarians had long ago learned to leverage their understanding of their homeworlds. Their planets, rich in diverse flora and fauna, were not mere battlegrounds but intricate ecosystems, each holding its own unique defenses. The Eldarians, in turn, had become masters of utilizing these natural resources to their advantage. Their defense strategy was a tapestry woven from the threads of guerrilla warfare, subterfuge, and the manipulation of their natural environment. Their vessels, agile and adaptable, were designed for hit-and-run tactics, weaving through the Vord's vast fleets like phantoms. The Eldarians used their knowledge of their planet's geography to their advantage, navigating through labyrinthine cave systems, hidden valleys, and dense, impenetrable forests. They learned to harness the planet's very essence. They employed bioluminescent fungi to create blinding flares, effectively disorienting the Vord's technological systems. They redirected subterranean rivers, creating unexpected floods and treacherous quicksand traps. They even weaponized the symbiotic relationships between plant and animal life, utilizing venomous flora and fauna to ambush and weaken the Vord. Their adaptability was unparalleled. They could shift their tactics and strategies on a whim, adapting to every new challenge posed by the Vord, who often struggled to comprehend the Eldarians' unconventional methods. The Eldarians' true strength lay not in their technology, but in their unity. They were a collective, each member working in concert with the other, utilizing their collective knowledge and experience to create an ever-evolving defense strategy. They communicated through a complex network of biosignals, allowing them to coordinate their actions with astonishing precision. The Vord, accustomed to conquering through brute force and overwhelming firepower, were bewildered by the Eldarians' resistance. The Vord's advanced technology, while formidable, was unable to penetrate the Eldarians' intricate web of natural defenses and guerrilla tactics. The Eldarians, however, were patient, their strategy built upon attrition and the gradual weakening of the Vord's invasion force. They were willing to fight a long war, knowing that their resilience and adaptability would ultimately triumph over the Vord's brute force. The Eldarians' defiance, a testament to their unity and resourcefulness, served as a beacon of hope in a galaxy engulfed by the Vord's invasion. Their unwavering commitment to protecting their home, coupled with their unconventional tactics, demonstrated that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, there was always a path to resistance. Their struggle was a testament to the enduring power of adaptability and a reminder that even the most advanced technology could be overcome by the will to survive. The once bustling command centers of the Vrontian and Eldarian fleets were now shrouded in a heavy silence, punctuated only by the rhythmic hum of their life support systems. The relentless assault of the Vord had reduced their once imposing armadas to scattered remnants, their ships bearing the scars of a desperate struggle. Yet, amidst the despair, a flicker of hope arose in the form of a faint, pulsating signal detected by both fleets. The signal originated from a previously uncharted region of the galaxy, a vast and unexplored sector shrouded in cosmic dust and nebulae. It was unlike anything either civilization had encountered before. The signal was complex, its frequency fluctuating in patterns that seemed to defy logical analysis. It was as if a symphony of unknown cosmic energies was being played out in the depths of space. Captain Serafina, haunted by the tragic consequences of war, was among the first to study the anomaly. She stared at the spectral representation of the signal on her console, a tapestry of fluctuating waves and pulsating frequencies that seemed to dance across the screen. Her mind raced, trying to decipher the meaning behind the perplexing patterns. "What do you make of it, Serafina?" asked a voice beside her. It was Commander Kiran, a seasoned officer known for his keen intuition and unwavering logic. "The signal is unlike anything we've ever encountered. It's not a standard communication protocol, but it seems to be intelligent." Serafina nodded, her eyes fixed on the shifting spectral patterns. "It's as if it's a message from another dimension." Kiran, ever the skeptic, scoffed. "Another dimension? Serafina, you know that's pure speculation. We need to stick to the facts." But even as he spoke, a flicker of doubt crossed his face. He, too, felt a sense of unease, a subtle tremor in the fabric of reality that the signal seemed to carry with it. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the Eldarian Collective was grappling with the same enigma. Their scouts, who had managed to escape the clutches of the Vord, had intercepted the signal. It was a beacon, a whisper of something unknown and potentially dangerous. The Eldarians, masters of strategy and adaptation, understood the implications of such a signal. They had always been wary of venturing into uncharted regions of the galaxy, their ancestors having learned the hard way that the cosmos held many secrets that were best left undisturbed. This signal, however, seemed to be urging them to break their long-held tradition. A senior elder of the collective, known as Eldara, summoned a meeting of the council. "This signal, it is unlike anything we have ever witnessed. It calls to us, yet it also whispers of a great danger. What are our options?" The council members, known for their collective wisdom and foresight, engaged in a heated debate. Some argued for caution, urging their people to avoid the unknown. Others, driven by a thirst for knowledge and a desperate need to find a solution to the Vord threat, argued for exploration. The signal, emanating from the uncharted sector, grew stronger, a beacon calling out to the galaxy. It was a mystery, a puzzle that demanded to be solved, a siren song that promised both danger and the possibility of salvation. The fate of the galaxy, it seemed, hung in the balance, waiting for the answer to a question no one could yet comprehend. The signal, a rhythmic pulse of energy, unlike anything they had encountered before, resonated throughout the Vrontian flagship, the Aegis. Admiral Valerius, a man of unwavering logic and unwavering loyalty to the Vrontian Empire, stared at the data streams displayed on the holographic screens before him. It pulsed, a beacon of unknown origin, emanating from a region of space beyond the Veil, a region where the Vrontian Empire had never ventured. The signal was the only proof of life in that uncharted territory, a universe yet to be explored. Fear and suspicion filled the bridge. The Vrontian Empire had never been so vulnerable, their dominance challenged by the relentless Vord. A quiet tension settled upon the bridge, a stark contrast to the usual bustle of the Vrontian fleet. Whispers of fear and dread echoed through the halls of the Aegis, and the usual confidence of the Vrontian officers seemed to waver. The signal, however, held a peculiar allure. It was not the chaotic bursts of energy associated with the Vord, or the steady, predictable patterns of the Eldarian Collective. It was a message, coded in a language the Vrontians could not decipher, but a language they could not ignore. The Vrontians, a people steeped in tradition and unyielding in their pursuit of knowledge, were compelled to investigate. The unknown was anathema to them, a violation of their meticulously ordered universe. The signal was a challenge, a call to action. The Vrontian fleet, though ravaged by the Vord, still possessed formidable firepower and a thirst for answers. Admiral Valerius, his face etched with a weight of responsibility, called for a tactical briefing. He was a seasoned commander, a man who had risen through the ranks on the strength of his intellect and his unwavering loyalty to the Empire. But even Valerius was unsure how to approach this new threat. "The signal originates from a region beyond the Veil, a region we know nothing about," he declared, his voice resonating with an undercurrent of apprehension. "It appears to be intelligent, coded in a complex language we have yet to decipher." The tactical officer, a sharp-eyed woman named Seraphina, was the first to break the silence. "It could be a trap, Admiral," she said, her voice laced with caution. "We know nothing of the creatures beyond the Veil. They could be even more powerful than the Vord." "And what if it's not a trap?" Valerius countered, his gaze fixed on the data streams before him. "What if it's a beacon, a message from a civilization seeking help? Perhaps we can forge an alliance, a new force to fight the Vord." The bridge was divided. Some, like Seraphina, urged caution, advocating for a defensive strategy. Others, like Valerius, saw the signal as an opportunity, a chance to break free from the confines of their known galaxy and forge a new path for the Vrontian Empire. Ultimately, the decision was made. The Vrontian fleet, its engines humming with anticipation and trepidation, prepared to breach the Veil, a vast, unexplored expanse, a universe of unknowns. The Vrontian Empire, accustomed to navigating the complexities of their own galaxy, was about to venture into a realm far more enigmatic. The signal, a beacon in the darkness, had both terrified and intrigued them, sparking a newfound sense of urgency and a thirst for knowledge. They were about to learn that even the most powerful empire can be vulnerable, and the universe, in all its vastness, holds secrets both wondrous and terrifying. The Vrontian fleet, led by Admiral Valerius, approached the point of origin for the mysterious signal. The journey had been tense, a silent march through a cosmos painted with the remnants of a galaxy ravaged by war. Each passing day had brought with it a growing sense of unease, a silent acknowledgement that they were venturing into the unknown, into the very heart of the Vord's supposed weakness. As they neared the designated coordinates, the signal intensified, its rhythmic pulses echoing through the ship's systems. The pulsating energy was unlike anything they'd ever detected, a symphony of complex harmonics woven into a pattern both beautiful and terrifying. It felt alive. "Admiral," reported Lieutenant Ira, her voice taut with tension, "we're nearing the threshold of the signal's origin. There's a significant energy anomaly in the region." Valerius nodded, his gaze fixed on the holographic display before him. The region was an abyss of swirling nebulae, the edges of the veil shimmering with an otherworldly luminescence. It felt like staring into a bottomless pit, filled with an unsettling unknown. He had to admit a creeping dread was beginning to settle in his gut. "Prepare for a full system scan, and increase the shielding to maximum. This is an unknown territory, and we need to be prepared for anything." "Yes, sir," Ira replied, her fingers dancing over the console. As the Vrontian flagship reached the designated area, the energy field surrounding the signal intensified. The ship shuddered, sensors overloading with data. The signal was incredibly complex, its code a jumble of alien symbols and mathematical equations that their systems couldn't fully decipher. "Admiral, we're receiving a visual feed," Ira announced, her voice laced with awe. The bridge fell silent as a holographic projection flickered to life. In the center of the screen, a gargantuan, swirling vortex pulsed with an ethereal glow. It was the veil, but unlike the familiar, opaque barrier, this was a living entity, a portal to another dimension. And at the edge of this swirling vortex, a shimmering image began to materialize. It was a humanoid figure, yet utterly alien in its appearance. Its skin was a shimmering, iridescent blue, with intricate markings that shifted and pulsated like living constellations. Its eyes were large and black, gleaming with an intelligence that was both captivating and unnerving. It wore a garment woven from a material that seemed to absorb light, making it appear almost translucent against the backdrop of the cosmic storm. The figure raised a hand, its fingers long and slender, and the light emanating from its form intensified. A wave of energy washed over the Vrontian ship, a silent but profound communication. Valerius felt a cold shiver run down his spine as he stared at the figure, a wave of primal fear mixed with a profound sense of curiosity. This was not the Vord. This was something else entirely. "Prepare for a full communication protocol, Lieutenant," Valerius said, his voice steady despite the turmoil within him. "We have to try to understand them." Ira nodded, her eyes wide with wonder. "Yes, sir. Initiating communication protocol." The alien figure watched, its eyes fixed on the bridge of the Vrontian flagship. Then it spoke, its voice a soft, harmonious melody that seemed to resonate deep within Valerius' soul. The language was unlike anything he'd ever heard, yet somehow he understood its meaning. "We are the Ethel," the alien figure said, its voice as gentle as the whisper of the wind. "We have heard your call, and we come in peace." The Ethel's words echoed through the Vrontian flagship's bridge, a soft, pulsating sound that resonated in the minds of those present. "The Vord are not the only ones who have crossed the veil," the ethereal voice resonated. "There are others, beings of light and power, who are not bound by the limitations of your dimension." Admiral Valerius, his face creased with concern, felt a surge of bewilderment. "Others? What do you mean?" The Ethel's response came in a series of images projected on the bridge's main screen. Starscapes, swirling nebulas, and then a glimpse of a ship, unlike anything the Vrontians had ever seen. It was sleek, almost organic, with an intricate design that seemed to defy the laws of physics. It was undeniably advanced, but somehow, it seemed, peaceful. "These are the humans," the Ethel said, its voice resonating with an unsettling calmness. "They are the newcomers, explorers of a different universe, unaware of the struggle that consumes this galaxy." The bridge fell silent. The sight of the ship, its design a testament to a technology that was both terrifying and fascinating, sent shivers down Valerius' spine. The humans were not a threat, not yet at least, but their arrival was an unknown factor, a variable that could change the course of the galactic war. Meanwhile, on the other side of the galaxy, aboard the human starship Horizon, Captain Eliana Thorne, her hand resting on the bridge's control console, watched a holographic display of their current position. The starship, part of a small but determined fleet, was charting a course through uncharted territory. They were exploring the universe, driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge and a yearning to find life beyond their own solar system. Eliana, her eyes bright with curiosity, turned to her first officer, the stoic but brilliant Lieutenant Commander Darius. "Any sign of life yet?" Darius, his brow furrowed in concentration, shook his head. "Nothing, Captain. This sector is eerily quiet. It's like a vacuum out here." Eliana sighed, a tinge of disappointment coloring her tone. "It's been weeks since our last contact. It's starting to feel like we're the only ones out here." "Don't get discouraged, Captain," Darius said, his voice laced with reassurance. "We're still in uncharted territory. There's a lot of unexplored space out there. We just need to keep pushing forward." As Eliana looked at the starship's sensor readings, her gaze fell on a faint signal, a whisper of energy that barely registered on their instruments. It was weak, almost unnoticeable, but it was there. "Darius," Eliana said, her voice tense with excitement, "I think I just found something." Darius, his eyebrows raised in curiosity, leaned closer to the screen. "What is it, Captain?" "It's a signal," Eliana said, her voice filled with anticipation. "It's faint, but it's definitely intelligent. It's coming from somewhere within the veil." A silence hung heavy in the bridge as Darius processed the information. The veil, a region of space deemed too dangerous, too volatile to explore. It was a forbidden zone, a place where the laws of physics were distorted and reality itself seemed to warp. The fact that a signal was coming from within it sent a chill down his spine. "Captain," Darius said, his voice laced with caution, "we should be careful. The veil is known to be unstable. The signal could be a trap." Eliana knew that Darius was right. The risks were high, but the potential rewards were even higher. This could be the key to understanding the universe, to finding other life forms, to proving that humanity was not alone. She was not one to shy away from a challenge. "Darius," Eliana said, her voice resolute, "prepare for a deep scan of the source of the signal. We may be looking at our first encounter with another intelligent species. Let's be prepared." The starship Horizon began its approach, the silence of the vast emptiness of space broken only by the hum of its engines and the flickering lights of its instruments. The humans, oblivious to the war that raged in the galaxy, were about to enter a dangerous game, their innocence about to be shattered by the realities of a galaxy consumed by conflict. Their arrival, a beacon of hope in a universe shrouded in darkness, held the potential to change everything, but the consequences of their involvement were yet to be known. The Vrontian fleet, led by Admiral Valerius, had been expecting anything but this. They had encountered the Ethel, a being of unimaginable power and knowledge, and had been warned of the Vord's origins. What they had not anticipated was the sight before them, a fleet of ships unlike any they had ever seen. These ships, sleek and graceful, moved with an effortless agility that defied the laws of physics as the Vrontians understood them. They were adorned with intricate patterns and symbols that seemed to dance in the starlight, a symphony of light and shadow. The Vrontians, used to the angular, utilitarian design of their own vessels, found themselves mesmerized by the beauty of the newcomers. Even more startling than the ships themselves was the crew that emerged from them. They were bipedal, humanoid beings, their bodies covered in a thin layer of what appeared to be skin. Their eyes were large and expressive, their features delicate yet strong. They spoke in a language that sounded like music, melodic and lilting, a stark contrast to the harsh, guttural tones of the Vrontians. The initial shock and confusion was mirrored in the Eldarian fleet. They had been engaged in a desperate fight for survival against the Vord, their civilization on the brink of collapse. The discovery of the Ethel, a being of such power and wisdom, had offered a glimmer of hope. But this new fleet, emerging from beyond the veil, was a completely different sort of surprise. The Eldarians, masters of adaptation and camouflage, found themselves ill-prepared for the sheer boldness of the newcomers. Their ships, built for stealth and agility, seemed to vanish into the shadows, while these new vessels, with their vibrant colors and open displays of power, radiated a sense of confidence and defiance. The Eldarians, accustomed to subtle communication and a preference for diplomacy, were unprepared for the directness of the humans. They are not Vord," Elder Tiana whispered, her voice barely audible amidst the chatter of the other Eldarians. "But what are they?" "They are different," Elder Jorah replied, his gaze fixed on the human fleet, a mixture of awe and fear in his eyes. "Their technology ... it is unlike anything we have ever seen." The human fleet, sensing the bewilderment of both the Vrontian and Eldarian fleets, sent out a series of signals, a language of light and sound that was utterly incomprehensible to both civilizations. Admiral Valerius, though initially wary of the humans, felt a sense of hope, a flicker of possibility in the midst of the despair that had been consuming his people. He had fought in this war for years, seen countless lives lost, and felt the crushing weight of the Vord's relentless advance. He had been forced to make impossible choices, sacrificing lives to achieve what he believed was the greater good. He had been close to giving up, to believing that the Vrontian Empire was doomed, that their ideals and their technology were not enough to defeat this new enemy. But the arrival of the humans, their enigmatic signals, and their apparent peaceful intentions had reignited a spark within him. Could this be a turning point, a chance for a new alliance, a hope for a future where war was not the only option? Elder Tiana, despite the fear that gripped her heart, felt a similar glimmer of hope. The Eldarian, for all their unity and strength, were exhausted. Their homeworld, once a sanctuary of peace and harmony, had been scarred by the Vord's brutal assault. Their people had suffered immense losses, and their resilience, once boundless, was being tested to its limits. Seeing these newcomers, these humans, with their vibrant colors and peaceful demeanor, offered a sliver of hope. Could this be the intervention they had been waiting for, a force capable of driving back the Vord and bringing an end to the bloodshed? The human fleet continued to approach, their ships glowing with a gentle luminescence. The Vrontians and Eldarians, despite their initial shock and confusion, felt a strange sense of anticipation. They had never encountered anything like this before, a species so different from them, yet with a presence that seemed to radiate hope. The initial shock of the humans' appearance faded into a mix of apprehension and curiosity. Both the Vrontians and the Eldarians, steeped in their own histories and cultural norms, found themselves staring at a species so drastically different. Humans, with their diverse array of cultures and appearances, were a revelation. The Eldarians, accustomed to their own unified society, were fascinated by the sheer variety of human societies, from the technologically advanced human colonies in the Andromeda galaxy, sporting sleek armor and sophisticated weaponry, to the more nomadic Earth-based tribes who possessed a deep connection to their environment, using natural materials and sustainable technologies. Admiral Valerius, accustomed to the Vrontians' hierarchical structure, was intrigued by the humans' egalitarian model of governance, where power was shared and decisions were made collaboratively. He was taken aback by the intricate network of interplanetary councils and the emphasis placed on individual liberty and self-determination. The concept of a multitude of voices shaping the course of a civilization was an unfamiliar but intriguing one. The Eldarians, with their collective consciousness, were drawn to the humans' emphasis on individuality and their celebration of the unique experiences and perspectives each individual brought to their communities. They observed, with a mixture of admiration and bewilderment, the humans' penchant for artistic expression, their diverse musical traditions, and their vibrant visual arts, all showcasing the unique stories and emotions of each individual. The humans, for their part, were equally struck by the Vrontians and Eldarians. The Vrontians' rigid adherence to their doctrines and their unwavering belief in their own superiority, coupled with their advanced technology, felt both impressive and disconcerting to humans, who valued diplomacy and collaboration. The Eldarians, with their strange, almost symbiotic relationship with their environment and their unified hive mind, seemed both intriguing and unnerving, as if they were a single being operating on a scale beyond human comprehension. Captain Eliana Thorne of the Horizon, despite her initial fear, found herself drawn to the resilience and hope that glimmered in the eyes of both the Vrontians and Eldarians. Despite their immense losses and the overwhelming threat they faced, both civilizations held onto a yearning for peace and a desire to protect their own unique cultures. As the initial distrust began to melt away, a tentative dialogue began. It was slow, filled with misinterpretations and cultural clashes. Yet, despite the differences, a sense of shared humanity emerged. The Vrontians and Eldarians saw in humans a reflection of their own hopes for a better future, a future where conflict was replaced with cooperation and where survival wasn't based on conquest, but on understanding. The humans, in turn, saw in the Vrontians and Eldarians the potential for allies in a vast and unpredictable galaxy, a galaxy where they were now all strangers together. The Vrontians, masters of manipulation and cunning, saw the humans as a tool to be used. They believed the humans, with their advanced technology and insatiable curiosity, could be persuaded to join their side in the war against the Vord. Admiral Valerius, ever the strategist, saw an opportunity to leverage the humans' innate desire for exploration and knowledge to their advantage. He assembled a team of the Empire's finest diplomats, researchers, and engineers, tasked with creating a narrative that would paint the Vrontian Empire as the benevolent defenders of the galaxy, while portraying the Eldarians as a dangerous and unpredictable force. The Vrontian delegation, led by the charismatic and cunning ambassador, Ethel, approached the human crew of the Horizon with carefully crafted proposals. They emphasized their vast knowledge of the galaxy, offering access to their archives, databanks, and scientific research facilities. They presented the war against the Vord as a fight for the survival of all sentient life in the galaxy, highlighting the Vord's brutality and unwavering thirst for conquest. They subtly framed the Eldarians as a threat, highlighting their unique societal structure and unconventional tactics as evidence of their dangerous unpredictability. Ethel, a master of subtle persuasion, used their innate empathy and understanding of human psychology to their advantage. They spoke of the shared values of peace and understanding, highlighting the Vrontian Empire's long history of technological advancements and their commitment to upholding galactic order. They carefully presented the Eldarians as a threat to this order, a species that operated outside the established norms and posed a danger to the stability of the galaxy. Captain Eliana Thorne, while deeply intrigued by the Vrontian offer, remained cautious. The humans had been thrust into a galactic war, and their understanding of the complex political landscape was limited. They were aware of the Vord's brutal aggression, having witnessed their destructive power firsthand. However, the Eldarians, though alien in their societal structure, had shown them nothing but compassion and understanding. The Vrontians, sensing Thorne's hesitation, offered a tempting proposition. They promised to share advanced technology in exchange for the humans' participation in the war effort. They presented prototypes of their latest weapons, cloaking devices, and advanced propulsion systems, showcasing the potential for collaboration. They emphasized the potential benefits for both sides, a partnership that would accelerate their technological advancements and lead to a swift victory over the Vord. The temptation was immense. The humans, a species driven by knowledge and discovery, were faced with an opportunity to gain access to technologies far beyond their comprehension. The potential benefits were staggering, but the cost was high. The Vrontians were playing a delicate game, exploiting human curiosity and a thirst for knowledge, while subtly manipulating them towards a path of war. Their carefully crafted narrative, a blend of truth and deception, masked their true motives, highlighting the Vrontians' own desire to secure an alliance that would ultimately benefit them in their war against the Eldarians. The Eldarian Collective, their organic architecture glistening in the dim light of the Vrontian vessel, regarded the humans with a mixture of curiosity and trepidation. Unlike the Vrontians, whose rigid structure and outward display of power mirrored the imposing, metallic hull of their warships, the Eldarians were a people of subtle shifts and harmonious ebb and flow. The very air around them hummed with the low thrum of their collective consciousness. Elder Tiana, her skin a tapestry of emerald and gold, her eyes pools of swirling azure, leaned forward, her voice a soft, almost melodic, tremor in the silence. "You are unlike anything we have ever encountered." Captain Thorne, her gaze steady, her dark hair pulled back from her face, held Tiana's gaze. "And you are unlike anything we've encountered. Your unity is fascinating." The Eldarians' apprehension was palpable, an undercurrent in the very air. They were a people who valued balance, who lived in harmony with their environment. Their technology, while advanced, was seamlessly integrated into the fabric of their planet, a symbiotic dance of life and innovation. The humans, in contrast, seemed to be a species of outward expression, their technology a tool wielded with a certain recklessness. Elder Tiana's gaze drifted to the human starship, the Horizon, a vessel of gleaming, chrome steel, an intricate web of energy conduits and towering antennae. It was a thing of beauty, a testament to human ingenuity, but also a reminder of their capacity for change, for disruption. "We have seen what your technology can do," she said, her voice soft, but her meaning clear. "We have witnessed the Vrontians' hubris, their relentless pursuit of power, a pursuit that has led them to build weapons capable of destroying entire worlds. Your technology, though different, holds a similar potential." Captain Thorne, her gaze hardening, took a measured breath. We are not like the Vrontians. Our technology is a tool for exploration, for understanding, for expanding our knowledge of the universe. We have no desire to conquer or destroy. Tiana, however, remained unconvinced. The Eldarians, in their long history, had encountered many species, some driven by greed, others by a thirst for power. It was in their nature, in their very essence, to be wary of anything new, anything that might disrupt the delicate balance they had painstakingly built. "We have lived in harmony with our world for centuries," Tiana said, her voice laced with a deep-seated apprehension, "a delicate harmony that we have carefully cultivated. We fear that your presence, your technology, could disrupt this balance." Captain Thorne met her gaze, her own a mixture of understanding and frustration. The humans, for all their technological prowess, were a species still finding their place in the vast expanse of the universe. They were driven by a thirst for knowledge, a desire to explore the unknown, and a deep-seated hope for connection. "We understand your concerns," Captain Thorne said, her voice firm. "We are a peaceful people. We seek only to understand and to learn, to build bridges, not to shatter them." Tiana, her gaze unwavering, held Captain Thorne's gaze. The silence that followed was pregnant with the weight of their different realities, a stark contrast between the Eldarians' interconnected consciousness and the humans' individualistic drive. It was a silence that spoke volumes, a silence that held the promise of both hope and uncertainty. The fate of the galaxy, it seemed, hung precariously in the balance. Ambassador Talia, a seasoned diplomat with a keen understanding of galactic politics and a deep-seated aversion to conflict, stood amidst the swirling energy of the human ship's bridge, her gaze fixed on the Eldarian Collective. The Eldarians, with their interconnected consciousness and their deep-rooted reverence for harmony, were a stark contrast to the individualistic humans, and the chasm between them seemed unbridgeable. Talia understood the Eldarian apprehension. Humans, with their technology and their constant drive to explore, were seen as a potential threat to their delicate ecosystem. She also understood the Vrontians' calculated manipulation of this apprehension, aiming to sow discord and secure their own alliance. She had witnessed the devastation wrought by the Vord, and she knew that only a united front could stand against their relentless onslaught. But she also knew that an alliance forged on fear and mistrust would crumble under the weight of its own contradictions. As Elder Tiana, the Eldarian leader, spoke of their interconnectedness and their fear of human disruption, Talia listened with unwavering attention. She knew the Eldarians would not easily accept the human presence. They were a species defined by their delicate balance, their harmony with their world, and their collective consciousness. Human individualistic drive, their ambition, their thirst for knowledge, all represented a potential disruption to their way of life. Talia knew the key lay in finding a common ground, a bridge between their vastly different cultures and perspectives. She needed to convince the Eldarians that the humans were not a threat, but a potential ally, a force that could help them navigate this complex, dangerous galaxy. "Elder Tiana," Talia began, her voice calm and reassuring, "I understand your apprehensions. You are a people of deep connection, and your world is a testament to your reverence for harmony. We humans, on the other hand, are individuals, striving for knowledge and driven by a thirst for exploration. This drive for knowledge," she continued, "is not inherently disruptive. It is a force that can be harnessed for good, for understanding, for building bridges between different worlds. We are a species of explorers, yes, but we are also a species of peacemakers. We seek understanding, not conquest." Talia knew that words alone were not enough. She needed to show the Eldarians the true nature of the human spirit, the desire for peace and understanding that lay beneath the surface of their technological advancement. "We have come to this galaxy not as conquerors, but as allies," she said, her gaze meeting Elder Tiana's. "We have seen the destruction wrought by the Vord, and we know that only together can we stand against this threat. We are not a threat to your way of life, Elder Tiana. We are a force that can help you protect it." The Eldarians, their collective consciousness, a swirling vortex of emotions, considered her words carefully. The deep, resonating hum of their collective mind filled the bridge, a melody of both apprehension and cautious curiosity. Talia continued, "The Vrontians offer you a false promise, a partnership built on fear and mistrust. They seek to exploit your apprehension, to turn you against us, and to further their own agenda. We offer you something different, a genuine alliance based on mutual respect and shared purpose." Her words resonated with Elder Channa, the Eldarian leader's voice, a deep, melodious hum that seemed to emanate from the very fabric of their collective being, echoed through the bridge. "We have sensed a tremor in the fabric of the universe, a disturbance that threatens our delicate balance. The Vrontians have shown us fear and division. You, however, offer us a different path, a path of understanding and shared purpose. We will consider your words, Ambassador Talia." Talia nodded. The Eldarians, despite their apprehension, were receptive to her message. It was a small victory, a glimmer of hope in the face of a galaxy consumed by war. The task ahead was immense. The Vrontians' manipulation had sown seeds of distrust that would be difficult to erase. But Talia was determined, fueled by her unwavering belief in the power of diplomacy, to forge a true alliance between the humans and the Eldarians, an alliance built on mutual respect and a shared commitment to peace. The fate of the galaxy, she believed, hinged on their ability to bridge this chasm of misunderstanding, to find a way to stand together against the Vord and build a future where peace and understanding reigned supreme. The Vrontian flagship, a gleaming testament to their technological prowess, loomed over the horizon, its hull a patchwork of intricate, shimmering panels. Captain Eliana Thorne, her gaze drawn to the intricate web of energy conduits that pulsed beneath the Vrontian ship's skin, felt a prickle of unease. The Vrontians radiated an air of superiority, their sleek, armored forms a stark contrast to the humans' more utilitarian uniforms. Admiral Valerius, a towering figure with eyes that seemed to pierce through her very soul, extended a gloved hand. "Welcome, Captain Thorne, to the Vrontian Empire. We are honored to have you grace our presence." Eliana took a deep breath, her hand hovering over his for a moment before she clasped it firmly. "The honor is ours, Admiral. We are humbled by your hospitality." "Hospitality," Valerius chuckled, the sound a low rumble that reverberated through the air. "We have much to discuss, Captain. Your arrival has stirred considerable interest. The Vord have ravaged our galaxy, and your advanced technology could be the key to turning the tide." Eliana frowned. "We are explorers, Admiral, not soldiers. We have no desire to be drawn into your conflict." "Ah, but your presence has changed everything," Valerius countered, his tone smooth but tinged with a subtle threat. "You possess knowledge we crave, technology we could leverage against the Vord. We are willing to share our own advancements in exchange for your assistance." "What kind of advancements?" Eliana pressed, her gaze unwavering. "And what kind of assistance are you asking for?" Valerius gestured towards a holographic projection of the Vord fleet, their ships twisted metal monstrosities that filled the screen with their menacing presence. "We are currently in a desperate struggle against these creatures. They are relentless, brutal, and their tactics are unconventional." "What are you asking us to do?" Eliana demanded, her voice firm. "Are you asking us to join your war?" Valerius hesitated for a moment, his gaze sweeping over the crew of the Horizon. "Not exactly. We are asking for your expertise, your understanding of the universe. We believe you have the potential to be invaluable allies, and your assistance would be immensely beneficial." "What kind of expertise?" Eliana questioned, her skepticism rising. "We are explorers, not strategists. We have no experience in fighting wars." "That is where our expertise comes in," Valerius interjected, his tone softening slightly. "We are masters of strategy and tactical warfare. We have been fighting the Vord for centuries. Your technology, combined with our knowledge, would be an unstoppable force." Eliana saw through the veiled threats and manipulative tactics. The Vrontians were desperate, their arrogance masking their fear. "We are not here to fight your wars," she declared, her voice firm. "We are here to understand the universe, to explore, not to conquer." Valerius's smile faltered momentarily, his eyes narrowing. "You are a curious species, Captain Thorne. Intriguing. But you are also naive. The universe is a harsh place, filled with dangers. You cannot hide from them forever." "Perhaps," Eliana replied calmly, meeting his gaze with unwavering resolve. "But we are not here to hide. We are here to learn, to grow, to understand." "We can teach you much," Valerius said, his voice a low purr. "And in return, we offer you the protection of the Vrontian Empire. A partnership would be mutually beneficial. Imagine the possibilities." Eliana, however, saw only the arrogance, the manipulation, the underlying threat. The Vrontians, with their talk of alliances and shared knowledge, sought only to exploit the humans. Their desire for peace was a facade, a ploy to gain leverage in a conflict that had ravaged the galaxy for far too long. She knew they would use the humans as pawns, expendable resources in their desperate fight for survival. Eliana, however, was not about to be a pawn in their game. She would not allow the humans to be drawn into a war they did not understand, a war that could potentially destroy everything they had worked for. The galaxy was a dangerous place, but it was not a place for conquest. It was a place for discovery, for understanding, for hope, and that was the message she intended to convey, one that went far beyond the Vrontians' understanding of power and dominance. Their arrogance blinded them to the possibilities, to the potential of true peace and understanding. A peace that could not be built on fear, manipulation, and the thirst for conquest. A peace that was worth fighting for, a peace that could change the galaxy forever. The bridge of the horizon hummed with activity, the soft glow of the control panels casting long shadows across the faces of the crew. Captain Eliana Thorne, her gaze fixed on the swirling vortex of the veil, felt a growing sense of unease. The Vrontians, with their sleek, metallic warships and an air of unwavering certainty, had proposed a strategic alliance against the Vord. The prospect of entering the Galactic War, a conflict that had raged for centuries, filled her with a cold dread. Captain, Lieutenant Commander Vega, her second in command, approached with a concerned expression. "The Vrontians are insistent. They believe our technology could be the key to defeating the Vord. They're offering a vast array of their own advancements in exchange." Eliana turned, her gaze meeting Vega's. "I understand their desperation, but we are explorers, not soldiers. We come in peace, seeking understanding, not to conquer." Vega nodded, her eyes reflecting the same unease. "But the Vord are a threat to the entire galaxy. Their ruthlessness is unmatched. Do we ignore their plea for help?" Eliana's gaze fell on the swirling vortex, a gateway to the unknown. "We can't ignore it, Vega, but we also can't be manipulated. The Vrontians are playing a dangerous game, using fear to create their own reality. We must tread carefully." She turned back to the main view screen, the image of the Vrontian fleet a stark reminder of the power they wielded. The Vrontians were a race obsessed with technological advancement, driven by a rigid sense of order and control. Their desire for power was undeniable, and their willingness to manipulate others to achieve their goals was a constant danger. "We need to gather more information," Eliana declared. "We need to understand the true nature of the Vord and the scale of their threat." She called for a briefing from the science team, her mind churning with questions. What were the Vord's true intentions? How did their technology compare to that of the Vrontians and Eldarians? And was there truly a chance for peace, or was this a conflict destined to consume the galaxy? The briefing revealed a chilling picture of the Vord, a race of predatory beings with a chilling disregard for life. Their technology surpassed that of the Vrontians, their warships bristling with weapons that could shatter entire planets. The Vord's relentless advance was a testament to their ruthlessness, a chilling reminder of the danger they posed to all life in the galaxy. As the briefing concluded, Eliana felt a wave of despair. The galaxy was teetering on the edge of destruction, and the Vrontians, blinded by their desire for power, seemed determined to draw the humans into a conflict that would surely end in devastation. "We must not let fear dictate our actions," she said, her voice firm despite the weight of the news. "We will continue to explore, to seek understanding. We will not be pawns in their game." She looked at her crew, each face reflecting the same mix of fear and determination. The journey through the Veil had been a gamble, but the reward was an understanding of the universe that transcended any conflict. They had come seeking knowledge, and they would not abandon that quest. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, but Eliana Thorne knew that the future lay not in war, but in understanding, and that understanding, she believed, was the only path to peace. The horizon, a testament to human ingenuity and relentless curiosity, was a vessel woven from the fabric of starlight and the whispers of the cosmos. More than just a starship, it was a beacon of humanity's yearning for knowledge, a vessel carrying the collective dreams of a species eager to explore the vast, unknown expanse of the galaxy. Its mission, etched in the heart of every crew member, was a simple yet profound one: to gather knowledge and establish contact with other sentient life forms, to understand the tapestry of existence, and to weave humanity's thread into its grand design. Captain Eliana Thorne, a woman whose spirit mirrored the boundless expanse of the galaxy, led the expedition. Her eyes, windows to a mind brimming with scientific curiosity and a thirst for understanding, held a quiet determination that was both captivating and reassuring. "We are explorers," she had often said, her voice echoing the calm certainty of a seasoned voyager, "not warriors. Our weapons are our minds, our tools are our intellect, and our goal is to bridge the chasm of the unknown with the threads of understanding." The Horizon's crew, a diverse tapestry of specialists and dreamers, each brought their unique talents and perspectives to the mission. There was Dr. Lyra, an astrophysicist whose mind danced with the intricate equations of the universe, her brilliance the mysteries of the cosmos. Commander Silas, a veteran of countless simulations and strategic exercises, ensured the smooth functioning of the ship and the safety of its crew. Engineer Marcus, a master of intricate machinery and a genius in problem-solving, kept the Horizon humming with life, ensuring its seamless journey through the galaxy. Each member of the crew, united by their shared passion for knowledge and their unwavering belief in the peaceful nature of humanity, was an integral part of the grand symphony of exploration. Their instruments, finely tuned extensions of their minds, reached out across the vast expanse, seeking whispers of life, faint signals of intelligence. Every blip, every flicker on the sensors, was a potential encounter with another sentient being, another puzzle piece in the grand mosaic of the universe. The thrill of discovery, of unraveling the secrets of the cosmos, was a constant companion, fueling their tireless pursuit of knowledge. Their journeys were not solely defined by data points and scientific observations. They were voyages of empathy and respect, seeking to understand the intricacies of other cultures, the nuances of their beliefs and values, and the delicate balance of their existence. They knew that the universe was a tapestry woven from the threads of countless lives, each unique and valuable. They sought not to conquer or dominate, but to learn, to understand, and to bridge the gap between different species with the common thread of curiosity. Their primary mission, however, was not solely focused on finding sentient life. It encompassed a deeper purpose: to understand the universe, to unravel the mysteries of its creation and its evolution. They sought to understand the fundamental laws that govern the cosmos, the forces that shaped galaxies and stars, the intricate dance of matter and energy. Their ship, the Horizon, was not just a vessel of exploration, but also a mobile laboratory, a floating sanctuary for scientific inquiry. It housed cutting-edge technology, intricate instruments, and a vast library of knowledge, all dedicated to the pursuit of understanding. Each discovery, each new data point, was a testament to their unwavering commitment to unraveling the secrets of the cosmos. They were, in essence, ambassadors of humanity, bearers of the flame of knowledge, and pioneers on the path of discovery, and their journey, marked by the footprints of curiosity and the echoes of wonder, had just begun. The Vrontians, ever eager to leverage their technological might, continued their attempts to sway the humans. Ambassador Talia, however, remained unconvinced. Their arrogance and blatant disregard for the Eldarians' way of life were clear to her. As she observed the Vrontians, Talia was reminded of the Vrontian Empire's long history of conquest, their relentless expansion fueled by their desire for power. The very notion of diplomacy seemed foreign to them. It was a tool to be used, not a principle to be embraced. She saw a stark contrast between the Vrontians and the humans. While the Vrontians were driven by a need to control and dominate, the humans, Talia believed, were driven by a desire to understand and connect. This was evident in their approach to exploration. Their mission wasn't conquest, it was discovery. Their ship, the Horizon, was a vessel of knowledge, not war. Talia had seen the Vrontian fleet, a marvel of technological prowess, yet it was a testament to their obsession with war. The Horizon, on the other hand, was a testament to human ingenuity, a fusion of scientific innovation and artistic expression. It was a beacon of hope, a symbol of humanity's boundless curiosity and unwavering pursuit of understanding. This difference in philosophy resonated deeply with Talia. The Vrontians saw war as a means to an end, a necessary evil for galactic dominance. The human, however, saw peace as the ultimate goal, a state of harmony that could only be achieved through understanding and respect. This was evident in the way they interacted with the Eldarians, a testament to their commitment to diplomacy and their genuine desire for peaceful coexistence. The Vrontians, Talia knew, were desperate. Their empire was teetering on the brink of collapse, and they saw the humans as their salvation. Their relentless pursuit of an alliance was a desperate plea for assistance, fueled by a fear of annihilation. But Talia was determined to resist their manipulative tactics. She knew that the humans' technology, if used against the Vord, would only lead to more bloodshed. It would be a Pyrrhic victory, a temporary reprieve at the cost of countless lives. Talia believed that the humans had a better solution, a more humane approach to the Vord's threat. She had witnessed their dedication to peace, their unwavering commitment to finding a way to coexist with other species. The humans saw the Vord as a challenge, not an enemy. They were driven by a desire to understand, not to conquer. This was their strength, their key to resolving the conflict. Her heart ached for the Vrontians, their desperation a chilling reminder of the consequences of war. But Talia knew that forcing the humans into the Vord's war would only perpetuate the cycle of violence. The answer, she believed, lay in dialogue, in a genuine effort to understand the Vord's motives and find a peaceful resolution. Talia felt a responsibility to guide the humans, to show them the path to true peace, a path paved with empathy and understanding, not bloodshed and conquest. The fate of the galaxy, Talia knew, hung in the balance. The choice was theirs to embrace the path of peace or to succumb to the allure of war. Talia, with all her heart, hoped that the humans would choose wisely. The tension in the observation lounge of the Horizon was palpable. Ambassador Talia, her brow furrowed with concern, watched the flickering holographic image of the Eldarian Collective, their voices a chorus of overlapping whispers. It was as if their very essence was interwoven, a stark contrast to the individualistic humans. Their concerns are understandable, Talia said, her voice a calm counterpoint to the Eldarians' anxiety. The Vord have been a scourge on this galaxy for too long, and the Eldarians have borne the brunt of their aggression. Captain Thorne nodded, her gaze fixed on the screen. We understand their apprehension, but we also believe in their capacity for understanding. Perhaps a demonstration of our peaceful intentions could help ease their concerns. Indeed, Talia agreed, turning to a young woman seated at a console, her face dimmed by the glow of the screen. Dr. Anya, would you care to share your insights with the collective? Anya, a brilliant astrophysicist with a fervent curiosity about the universe, straightened, her eyes sparkling with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. I believe the Eldarians are concerned about our technology, specifically its potential impact on their environment. Perhaps a demonstration of our scientific approach, a focus on observation and understanding, would be more persuasive than words alone. She gestured to a console displaying a series of intricate graphs and diagrams. This is data we've collected on the Eldarian homeworld, focusing on their unique ecosystem. We've been analyzing their symbiotic relationships, their intricate network of interconnected life forms. It is a testament to the delicate balance they've cultivated over millennia. It is not our intention to disrupt this harmony, but to understand it, to learn from it. Anya's words resonated with the crew, They were explorers, driven by a thirst for knowledge, not conquest. Their technology was a tool for understanding, not domination. The Eldarians seemed to sense this, their chorus of whispers quieting as they absorbed the data. "You observe," a single voice from the collective resonated, tinged with curiosity. "Not ... destroy." Anya, emboldened by this acknowledgement, continued, her voice filled with genuine passion. "We seek to understand the universe, its complexities and its wonders. We believe that knowledge is the key to peace, that understanding can bridge divides. We are not here to fight, but to learn." The Eldarian Collective seemed to be pondering her words, their voices a symphony of introspection. "Harmony important," one voice finally replied, "but change also inevitable." This was a breakthrough. The Eldarians were acknowledging the inevitability of change, of encountering new species and new ideas. It was a step towards understanding, towards accepting the possibility of coexistence. "Indeed," Talia said, her voice warm with hope. "Change can be both disruptive and transformative. It can lead to conflict, but it can also lead to growth, to a greater understanding of the universe and our place within it." Anya watched the Eldarian Collective, fascinated by their intricate interconnectedness, their hive mind. She knew their way of life was vastly different from her own, yet she felt a strange kinship with them, a shared fascination with the universe and a shared hope for peace. The meeting adjourned, a glimmer of understanding breaking through the shadows of fear. The path to peace was long and arduous, but the humans, with their thirst for knowledge and their commitment to peaceful exploration, offered a ray of hope in a galaxy consumed by war. The Eldarians, despite their apprehension, seemed to recognize this, allowing a faint spark of optimism to flicker in the hearts of the humans. The horizon was a testament to human ingenuity. Though not as vast as the Vrontian dreadnoughts or the Eldarian bioships, it possessed a flexibility unmatched by either. Its technology, a fusion of organic and synthetic, was born from the human drive to explore and understand. It reflected their ability to take existing technology and repurpose it for new and unexpected purposes. Their signature technology, the quantum weaver, allowed them to manipulate matter at the subatomic level. This wasn't just for weapons, although the Horizon boasted an arsenal of energy beams and particle disruptors. The quantum weaver also enabled them to synthesize materials, repair damage at an accelerated rate, and even reconfigure the ship's internal structure for different purposes. The Horizon wasn't a conventional warship, but a vessel of exploration. It had modules that could be detached and deployed independently, carrying specialized teams for scientific research, environmental surveys, or even diplomatic missions. The modules were outfitted with advanced sensor suites and communications arrays, allowing them to gather data and transmit information across vast distances. One of their most remarkable features was the adaptive hull, a constantly evolving surface that could adapt to the environment. It could shift color to blend into any background, strengthen itself against radiation, or even create temporary shields to deflect debris or minor attacks. This adaptive nature made them difficult to target and gave them an advantage in unfamiliar territories. Perhaps the most striking aspect of the Horizon was its living systems. These bioengineered systems were interwoven into the ship's fabric, creating a self-regulating ecosystem. They provided breathable atmosphere, recycled waste, and even grew food. This reliance on organic systems made them more resilient than conventional starships, able to adapt and survive in environments that would cripple others. The Horizon represented a stark contrast to the Vrontian Empire's rigid reliance on technology and the Eldarian Collective's inherent connection to their homeworld's ecosystems. While their technology was less powerful than either, their ability to adapt and evolve made them a formidable force, a silent threat capable of turning weaknesses into strengths. They were a testament to the human spirit, their adaptability a reflection of their willingness to embrace the unknown and adapt to the challenges of the galaxy. Their arrival had sparked fear and curiosity, and it was their adaptability that would likely determine their role in the war to come. The sight of the Vrontian and Eldarian fleets, ravaged by war, filled the crew of the Horizon with a visceral horror. They had encountered a universe of vastness and beauty, but this was a stark reminder of the darkness that could lurk within it. The destruction was on a scale they had never imagined, leaving scars on entire star systems. The human explorers, known for their curiosity and thirst for knowledge, found themselves facing a reality they had never encountered: the brutal realities of galactic war. "It's beyond comprehension," whispered Commander Silas, his voice heavy with emotion as he stared at the derelict Vrontian cruiser, a testament to the ferocity of the conflict. His gaze fell upon the damaged Eldarian ship, its organic hull riddled with holes, a stark contrast to the sleek, metallic vessels of the Vrontians. "They've been at it for centuries, they say. How could they let things get this bad?" Captain Thorne, her eyes reflecting the grim scene, nodded slowly. "They've been locked in a cycle of rivalry and distrust," she said, her voice laced with a quiet sorrow, "each driven by their own agendas, blinded by their own ideologies. It's a tragedy that spans generations." A pang of empathy resonated throughout the crew. The humans, with their history of conflict and reconciliation, understood the devastating consequences of unchecked ambition. Their own journey through the galaxy had taught them the importance of understanding, of bridging differences, of finding common ground. Witnessing the destruction firsthand, they felt a profound sense of responsibility, a shared desire to help, a spark of hope that perhaps they could offer a different path. "We can't stand by and watch this unfold," said Chief Engineer Marcus, his voice firm and resolute. "We have to find a way to help." The crew of the Horizon had always been driven by a thirst for knowledge and a passion for exploration, but the horrors they had witnessed had ignited a new fire within them, a desire to make a difference, a yearning to bring an end to the senseless bloodshed. Their advanced technology, born from collaboration and a shared understanding of the universe, held the potential for healing and reconciliation. They knew that any intervention would be delicate, requiring diplomacy and understanding. The humans, with their diverse cultures and values, understood the complexities of navigating intercultural conflicts. They had seen their own world rise from the ashes of war, a testament to the human spirit's ability to heal and rebuild. Their initial approach was cautious, their goal to understand the conflict, to find the roots of the Vrontian and Eldarian animosity. They sought to understand their ideologies, their beliefs, their perspectives. The humans were a species driven by curiosity and a desire to understand the universe, and they were determined to apply their knowledge to finding a peaceful resolution. The crew knew their task wouldn't be easy. It would require diplomacy, understanding, and a willingness to engage in difficult conversations, but they believed that their unique perspective and their commitment to peaceful solutions could be a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. The war between the Vrontians and Eldarians was a testament to the devastating consequences of conflict, but the human arrival offered a glimmer of hope, a chance to rewrite the narrative, to turn a galaxy consumed by war into one that embraced peace and understanding. The data streams from the Vrontian and Eldarian warships were like tangled knots, their histories a tapestry woven with threads of conflict and misunderstanding. The Horizon's crew, accustomed to the meticulously documented records of human history, struggled to decipher the intricacies of this galactic struggle. The Vrontians' rigid hierarchy and their obsession with technological superiority contrasted sharply with the Eldarians' collective consciousness and their deep reverence for their interconnected ecosystem. Both civilizations held a distinct sense of their own righteousness, viewing the other as a threat to their way of life. The human crew found themselves caught in a labyrinth of conflicting narratives. The Vrontians presented themselves as the defenders of order and progress, highlighting the Eldarians' perceived threat to galactic stability. The Eldarians, in turn, painted the Vrontians as a dangerously expansionist force, whose obsession with technology threatened to disrupt the delicate balance of their world. Each species saw itself as the victim, each claiming the other as the aggressor. Dr. Xander, the Horizon's chief historian, examined the data streams with a critical eye. "It's a complex web of grievances," he sighed, tracing a fingertip across the holographic projections of the two civilizations' histories. Each side has its own version of events, each justifying its actions with righteous indignation. It's almost impossible to discern the truth from the spin. Captain Thorne nodded, her gaze fixed on the holographic images of the devastated planets, their once vibrant ecosystems now scarred and barren. They've been locked in this conflict for centuries, she said, her voice tinged with sadness. It's heartbreaking. There's so much potential for cooperation, for understanding, yet all they see is the threat of the other. Commander Silas, the Horizon's second-in-command, his brow furrowed in concentration, added, "They seem to view each other as existential threats, a binary of us or them. There's no room for diplomacy, for compromise, only dominance. They've been fighting so long, they've forgotten what it's like to be allies," Dr. Xander said, his tone filled with a heavy sense of loss. Engineer Marcus, ever practical, spoke up. "Maybe they're stuck in a cycle, a feedback loop. Each action fuels the next, escalating the conflict. We need to break the cycle, find a way to interrupt the pattern." "And how do we do that?" Silas questioned, his skepticism evident. "They've been locked in this struggle for centuries. We've barely been here a few days, and already the Vrontians are trying to manipulate us." "We have to understand them," Thorne said, her voice firm. "We have to understand their fears, their motivations, their history. Only then can we begin to bridge the chasm between them." The crew spent hours poring over the data streams, carefully sifting through information, searching for clues to unlock the complexities of the conflict. They discovered evidence of past attempts at reconciliation, of diplomatic initiatives that had ultimately failed, often due to entrenched suspicion and a lack of trust. They also found evidence of hidden agendas, of manipulative strategies employed by both sides to maintain their hold on power. "The Vrontians are using the humans as a wedge," Dr. Xander concluded, his voice heavy with concern. "They're trying to incite distrust between the humans and the Eldarians. It's a dangerous game they're playing." "The Eldarians are cautious, wary of human technology," Silas added, his voice laced with apprehension. "But they seem to be more open to dialogue, more willing to listen." "It's a delicate situation," Captain Thorne said, her gaze fixed on the starscape beyond the viewport. "We have to be careful not to fall prey to the manipulations of either side. Our goal is to understand, to bridge the divide, not to take sides." "We are explorers," Dr. Xander reminded them. "Our mission is to understand the universe, not to conquer it. That includes understanding the complexities of galactic civilizations, even when those complexities involve conflict." "We're not here to judge," Captain Thorne said. "We're here to help. We need to find a way to help them see the path to peace, to break the cycle of violence, to find a way to live together." The Horizon's crew, their faces etched with a mixture of awe and sorrow, stood on the bridge, watching the desolate remnants of a once thriving Eldarian city. The sight was a stark reminder of the destructive potential of unchecked ambition. Their hearts ached for the Eldarian people, their culture so closely tied to their environment. "They're trying to rebuild," whispered Commander Silas, his voice heavy with emotion. "But it's going to take generations." Dr. Reese, the chief science officer, nodded silently, his gaze fixed on the crumbling structures. "Their technology is unlike anything we've seen before. Imagine the potential they had, the advancements they could have made if they hadn't spent their time fighting." Captain Thorne, her expression grave, leaned against the command console. "We can't just stand by and watch them destroy themselves. We have to help. It's what we were built for, what we were meant to do." "But how, Captain?" asked Lieutenant Kai, his eyes filled with concern. "We don't even know the full story. Interfering could make things worse." "It's a fine line, isn't it?" murmured Engineer Marcus. "On one hand, we can't ignore the suffering. On the other, we can't impose our solutions on other civilizations." The crew, a diverse group of individuals, were united in their desire to see peace, to prevent the cycle of violence from repeating itself. However, they were also acutely aware of the ethical complexities involved. They were explorers, not soldiers. Their mission was to understand, to learn, not to conquer. "There's a difference between intervention and interference," said Captain Thorne, her voice firm. "We can offer our knowledge, our experience, but ultimately, the choice belongs to them. We have to respect their right to self-determination." The crew discussed the matter for hours, their conversation filled with a mix of hope and apprehension. They debated the best course of action, the potential consequences, and the delicate balance between their own moral obligations and the right of other civilizations to chart their own destinies. Dr. Reese, a man of logic and reason, laid out the arguments for non-interference. History is littered with examples of civilizations that have been interfered with by others, with devastating consequences. The Vord, as we've witnessed, are a prime example. "But we're not the Vord," countered Commander Silas. "We have no desire to conquer or exploit. We just want to help." "And what if our help is seen as a threat?" Dr. Reese countered. "What if they view us as another aggressor, another obstacle to their own goals?" The arguments went back and forth, each point raising further questions, highlighting the complexity of the situation. They were faced with a moral dilemma, a choice that carried significant weight. They couldn't just stand by and watch civilizations crumble, but they also couldn't impose their own solutions. They needed to find a path forward, a way to offer their help without jeopardizing their own principles. They had to find a way to bridge the gap between their desire to intervene and their understanding of the right to self-determination. It was a delicate balance, a tightrope walk they had to navigate carefully, for the fate of entire civilizations might hang in the balance. The Horizon crew, with the weight of the Eldarian tragedy upon them, sought out Elder Tiana. They found her amidst a gathering of Eldarian elders, their bioluminescent forms pulsing with a mournful rhythm. Tiana, her presence radiating a calm intensity, turned towards them. "You have seen the consequences of our war. The Vrontians have destroyed not only our cities, but our very way of life." Captain Thorne, her gaze filled with empathy, replied, "We understand the pain you have endured. We have seen the destructive potential of technology when wielded with arrogance and greed. But we also know the power of human ingenuity to heal and rebuild. We come in peace, not as conquerors, but as partners." The elders exchanged silent glances, their luminescence fluctuating as they pondered Thorne's words. Tiana, speaking for the collective, said, "The Vrontians have exploited the vulnerability of our world. We see you, the humans, as another threat, another force that may disrupt our delicate balance." Thorne's voice softened, her words laced with sincerity. "We understand your apprehension, Elder Tiana. Our desire is to help, not to rule. We have seen the beauty and fragility of your world, and we would never seek to exploit it. We are explorers, seeking knowledge and understanding, not domination." The Horizon's crew, recognizing the deep-rooted mistrust, decided to act. Dr. Silas, the ship's chief science officer, stepped forward. He held up a small, shimmering device, its light pulsing softly. "This is a bioluminescent algae we've developed, capable of absorbing pollutants and converting them into energy. We've adapted it from a similar species found on our homeworld. It could help clean up the waste left behind by the Vrontians, restoring your ecosystems." The elders observed the device with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. Tiana, sensing their doubt, spoke. "We are a collective. Our decisions are not made by individuals, but by the will of the hive mind. We must take time to consider your offer." The Horizon crew knew patience was key. They spent the next few days demonstrating their technology, explaining their motives, and sharing stories of their own history, emphasizing their commitment to peaceful coexistence. They displayed their ability to create self-sustaining ecosystems, to cultivate food from barren soil, to heal wounds with advanced medical technology. Gradually, the Eldarians began to see the humans not as invaders, but as potential allies. They saw the compassion in their eyes, the sincerity in their words, and the ingenuity in their actions. One evening, as the Horizon crew stood beneath the vast canopy of bioluminescent fungi that shimmered in the twilight, Elder Tiana approached them. "We have reached a consensus. We accept your offer. We believe you are not like the Vrontians. We believe in your promise of peace. We will allow you to help us rebuild our world." Thorne's heart swelled with a mix of relief and gratitude. "Thank you, Elder Tiana. This is a significant step towards healing this galaxy. We are committed to working alongside you to rebuild your home and to foster a future where conflict is a relic of the past. The Eldarians, their luminescence now flickering with a renewed hope, welcomed the humans as friends. The path to peace, though arduous, had taken a crucial first step. The human crew, through their empathy, understanding, and their advanced technology, had sparked a glimmer of hope in a galaxy consumed by war. They had shown that even in the darkest times, humanity could still choose a path towards reconciliation and a brighter future. The humans understood the conflict wasn't simply a matter of good versus evil. Each side saw themselves as the righteous defenders, and the other as the aggressor, trapped in a centuries-long cycle of violence fueled by mistrust and a lack of understanding. To bring peace, they needed to bridge the gap between these two civilizations, not by imposing their own solutions, but by fostering a genuine understanding of each other's perspectives. The Horizon crew, led by Captain Thorne, embarked on a mission to learn the histories of both civilizations. They studied the Vrontian records, delving into their rigid social structures and their reliance on technology for power. They learned about their expansionist policies and their belief in a strict moral code, which justified their actions, even if those actions resulted in collateral damage. They explored the Eldarian archives, immersing themselves in their collective consciousness and their reverence for harmony and balance. They discovered their deep connection to their homeworld, their intricate ecosystem, and their fear of outside interference that could disrupt their delicate balance. The crew realized that the Vrontians, despite their technological superiority, were driven by a fear of losing their power, fueling their aggression and their willingness to manipulate others to maintain their dominance. They understood the Eldarians' apprehensions stemmed from a profound sense of responsibility for their world and a fear of losing their unique way of life. Equipped with this newfound understanding, the humans decided to initiate a series of cultural exchanges between the Vrontians and Eldarians. They organized events where each civilization could showcase their history, their art, and their values. They invited Vrontian scientists to collaborate with Eldarian scholars on projects focused on sustainable energy and resource management. They facilitated discussions between Vrontian diplomats and Eldarian elders, encouraging them to share their hopes for the future and to address the fears that had driven their conflict for so long. These exchanges were not without their challenges. The Vrontians, accustomed to imposing their will, were reluctant to engage in genuine dialogue. The Eldarians, wary of human technology and its potential impact on their world, were hesitant to open themselves up to a civilization so different from their own. However, the Horizon crew, armed with patience and empathy, persevered. Captain Thorne and her crew stressed the need for mutual respect and understanding. They reminded both civilizations that their differences were not inherently a source of conflict, but rather an opportunity for growth and learning. They highlighted the shared values of peace and prosperity, emphasizing that both the Vrontians and Eldarians yearned for a future free from war and violence. The humans also worked to break down the stereotypes that had fueled animosity between the two civilizations. They presented the Vrontians as more than just ruthless conquerors, showcasing their ingenuity and their contributions to the galaxy. They showed the Eldarians as more than just a peaceful collective, revealing their resilience and their determination to defend their way of life. The humans' efforts to build bridges and understanding, along with their commitment to a peaceful solution, began to chip away at the walls of mistrust. The Vrontians, witnessing the humans' genuine desire for peace, began to question their own aggressive tactics. The Eldarians, seeing the humans' respect for their world and their willingness to learn, started to soften their resistance. The journey towards peace was long and arduous, but the Horizon crew, driven by their commitment to a better future for the galaxy, remained steadfast in their efforts. Their strategy, rooted in empathy, understanding, and a shared belief in the power of dialogue, offered a glimmer of hope in a galaxy ravaged by war. The Horizon crew, led by Captain Thorne, embarked on a mission to understand the Vrontians and Eldarians, two civilizations locked in a centuries-long conflict. They discovered both groups were driven by fear and a lack of understanding of the other, justifying their actions through their own moral codes. To bridge the gap, the humans facilitated cultural exchanges, showcasing the strengths and values of both sides. Vrontian diplomats, initially wary of the human presence, were surprised by their approach. They expected demands, treaties, or even threats, but the humans offered only curiosity and a genuine desire to learn. The crew organized a series of interactive simulations, replicating historical events from both Vrontian and Eldarian history. Participants were encouraged to take on different roles, experiencing events through the eyes of their adversaries. The simulations proved to be a revelation. Vrontian participants, accustomed to perceiving the Eldarians as a monolithic hive mind, were astonished to witness the complexity of individual Eldarian thought and decision-making. They learned about the Eldarians' reverence for nature, their intricate social structures, and their deep-rooted sense of unity. Similarly, Eldarian participants were surprised by the Vrontians' individuality and their surprising capacity for compassion. The simulations allowed them to glimpse beyond the Vrontian facade of cold logic and technological superiority. They discovered a civilization grappling with complex moral dilemmas, driven by a desire for order and security, even if it came at a cost. Through these simulations, the humans achieved something remarkable. They created a space for empathy, allowing each side to experience the perspective of the other, transcending the walls of ingrained prejudice and fear. The Vrontian participants were no longer just the enemy to the Eldarians, and the Eldarians were no longer merely a threat to the Vrontians. Beyond the simulations, the humans encouraged cultural exchanges on a grander scale. Vrontian artists, musicians, and scholars were invited to share their work with the Eldarians, while Eldarian dancers, storytellers, and philosophers were given the opportunity to connect with the Vrontians. The horizon became a melting pot of ideas, cultures, and perspectives. These exchanges brought about a profound change. Vrontian musicians, accustomed to the sterile precision of their own melodies, were mesmerized by the raw, passionate rhythms of Eldarian music. Eldarian storytellers, used to weaving tales of interconnectedness and collective consciousness, were captivated by Vrontian narratives that celebrated individual heroism and the triumph of the human spirit. The Horizon crew recognized the importance of communication and cultural exchange in bridging the gap between the Vrontians and Eldarians. They understood that true peace could not be achieved through military conquest or technological dominance, but through understanding, empathy, and a shared desire for a better future. Their efforts, though seemingly small, laid the foundation for a new era of understanding and collaboration, a future where the galaxy might finally know peace. The humans, having witnessed the devastation wrought by the Vord and the centuries-long conflict between the Vrontians and Eldarians, knew they couldn't simply stand by. Captain Thorne, with her deep empathy and unwavering commitment to peace, rallied her crew to offer their expertise and resources to help both civilizations rebuild. The Horizon crew, armed with their advanced technology and a desire to heal, set to work. They deployed their quantum weaver technology, a remarkable feat of engineering that allowed them to manipulate matter and energy on a molecular level to reconstruct damaged infrastructure in cities. They repaired shattered power grids, rebuilt collapsed buildings, and restored vital communication networks, breathing life back into ravaged landscapes. The Vrontians, despite their initial skepticism, were astounded by the sheer efficiency of the humans' technology. The Quantum Weaver, a marvel even to their own advanced engineering, was a testament to human ingenuity and a stark reminder of the limitations of their own rigid focus on pure power. The Eldarians, on the other hand, were hesitant to embrace technology, wary of its potential to disrupt their delicate ecosystems and their interconnected way of life. They were drawn to the humans' gentle approach, however, their dedication to understanding and respect for their world. The humans reassured them that their technology was not a weapon but a tool to heal, a way to rebuild and restore their shattered world. The Horizon crew also provided medical aid, tending to the wounded and sick from both civilizations. They deployed their advanced medical technology, capable of treating a vast range of injuries and illnesses, including those inflicted by the Vord. They offered comfort and hope to those who had lost everything, their compassion and empathy bridging the language barrier and winning hearts across the galaxy. The humans' selfless efforts, their dedication to healing and rebuilding, began to chip away at the centuries-long animosity between the Vrontians and Eldarians. It was a slow and difficult process, but with each act of kindness, each shared meal, each whispered word of hope, a new understanding began to blossom. The humans, through their actions, demonstrated that there was more to their species than just advanced technology. There was empathy, compassion, and a deep-seated desire for peace. They were not a conquering force, but a beacon of hope in a galaxy consumed by war. The Horizon's presence was a stark contrast to the Vord's brutal reign. Where the Vord had only left destruction, the humans left hope. They were not just efficient engineers, but also skilled doctors, their technology blending seamlessly with their compassion. Captain Thorne and her crew, with their tireless efforts, brought a flicker of life back to the shattered cities and planets. As the Vrontians watched the humans work, they were forced to confront their own shortcomings. Their rigid adherence to their own ideals, their obsession with power and dominance, had blinded them to the true cost of their wars. The humans, with their emphasis on collaboration and understanding, seemed to possess a kind of wisdom that the Vrontians had lost. The Eldarians, for their part, were initially wary of the humans. They saw their technology as a potential threat to the delicate balance of their ecosystem. But as they witnessed the humans' genuine concern for the well-being of their world, their apprehension gradually dissolved. The humans, through their own unique perspective, offered a glimpse of a future where technology could be used for healing and restoration, not just destruction. The humans, in turn, were fascinated by the Eldarians' unique way of life. Their hive mind, their interconnectedness with their world, their ability to perceive the universe through a web of symbiotic relationships, it was all utterly alien yet deeply compelling. It was a stark contrast to the humans' individualistic nature, their emphasis on personal freedom and individual achievement. Yet, beneath the surface, they found a shared sense of humanity, a common desire to build a better future. The respect and admiration between the humans and both factions grew with each passing day. The Vrontians, who once saw themselves as the pinnacle of galactic civilization, began to recognize the human strengths, their ability to adapt, their compassion for life, and their unwavering commitment to peace. The Eldarians, who once saw technology as a threat, began to appreciate its potential for good, as the humans used it to restore their world and heal their people. A bond began to form between the three species, a bond forged in the fires of war and nurtured by a shared hope for a better tomorrow. The humans, with their ability to bridge the gap between two vastly different civilizations, had become a beacon of hope in a galaxy consumed by conflict. They showed the Vrontians and the Eldarians that a different path was possible, a path that led not to dominance, but to understanding, not to destruction, but to collaboration. The galaxy was in the midst of a transformation sparked by the arrival of humans, a species that had ventured across the veil not to conquer, but to learn, to connect, to find peace. And the hope for that peace, so fragile yet so precious, was beginning to take root. The Vrontians, once consumed by their own arrogance and superiority, began to see the world differently. They had always viewed the Eldarians as rivals, their collective consciousness a baffling and ultimately threatening concept. The Eldarians, they had believed, represented a dangerous kind of unity, one that could potentially engulf the galaxy. Their encounters with the humans, however, started to chip away at this ingrained prejudice. The humans, with their focus on collaboration and shared understanding, challenged the Vrontians' very foundation. Witnessing the humans' genuine care for the Eldarians, their eagerness to help rebuild their cities and heal their wounded forced the Vrontians to confront their own prejudices. The Eldarians, despite their initial wariness, responded to the humans' compassion with a quiet acceptance. They were touched by the humans' willingness to bridge the divide, their insistence on seeing them not as a collective, but as individuals with their own unique perspectives. This, in turn, triggered a subtle shift in the Vrontians' perception. Admiral Valerius, once a staunch believer in the Vrontian way, began to question the rigidity of his own ideals. He had always believed in the supremacy of Vrontian technology and its potential to bring order to the galaxy, but now he saw the hollowness of this belief. The Vord's brutal tactics and the Eldarians' adaptability had both proven the limitations of their own approach. The Vrontians had never stopped to consider the Eldarians' perspective. They had simply assumed the Eldarians were an enemy, a force to be dominated or destroyed. But seeing the humans' interactions with the Eldarians, the Vrontians began to understand the Eldarian perspective. They started to appreciate the Eldarians' reverence for their world, their delicate interconnectedness, their ability to see beyond the boundaries of individual self-interest. It was a young Vrontian officer, a lieutenant named Seraphina, who first dared to voice these changing sentiments. She had witnessed firsthand the devastation wrought by the Vord, the senseless destruction of entire civilizations. She had also seen the humans' efforts to heal and rebuild, their unwavering commitment to peaceful coexistence. Seraphina started to see the Eldarians not as an enemy, but as fellow beings who shared a common fear of the Vord, a common yearning for peace. "We have been so focused on our own strength," she said during a meeting with Valerius, "that we have failed to understand the Eldarians. We have treated them as lesser beings, not recognizing the beauty and complexity of their existence." Her words resonated with others, sparking a quiet rebellion against the Vrontians' ingrained prejudices. The humans' example, their refusal to view the Eldarians as a threat, began to challenge the Vrontians' worldview. They began to recognize their own shortcomings, their reliance on brute force, their arrogance in assuming they knew better than anyone else. The shift in perspective was slow, but it was undeniable. The Vrontians, once so confident in their own righteousness, began to see the flaws in their own system. They started to acknowledge the humanity of the Eldarians, their shared vulnerability, their shared desire for a better future. This gradual shift in perception would be crucial in the coming years. It would lead to a more complex understanding of the galactic conflict and lay the groundwork for a new era of cooperation and peace. It was the humans, with their unique approach to understanding and their unwavering commitment to peace, who had shown the Vrontians that a better way was possible. The Eldarian Collective, a civilization built on unity and interconnectedness, had initially viewed the humans with apprehension. Their technology, while advanced, felt invasive and potentially disruptive to their delicately balanced ecosystem. Yet, as they witnessed the humans' interactions with the Vrontians, their apprehension slowly began to wane. Elder Thalassa, a wise and respected member of the collective, had been one of the most vocal critics of the humans. She felt the Eldarians' way of life, deeply intertwined with their natural world, was incompatible with the humans' individualistic nature. However, after seeing humans work tirelessly to heal the wounded, regardless of species, her perspective began to shift. One day, while walking through the recovering Eldarian city, Thalassa encountered Dr. Tamara, a human scientist working on restoring the city's damaged infrastructure. Tamara had a gentle demeanor, and her eyes held a deep curiosity, not a hint of aggression. She was meticulously examining a delicate, bioluminescent plant, its once vibrant glow dimmed from the Vord's attack. "It is a beautiful specimen," Tamara murmured, her voice soft but firm. "The way it captures and reflects light is fascinating." Thalassa, surprised by Tamara's genuine admiration, spoke. "It is a part of our ecosystem, intertwined with the city's energy flow. The Vord's weapons disrupted its balance, and we are struggling to restore it." Tamara, her eyes sparkling with understanding, nodded. "We understand. We've seen the damage they caused. We are here to help, however we can. Not to conquer, but to understand and restore." Thalassa, touched by Tamara's earnestness, felt a weight lift from her shoulders. This wasn't a threat, but a potential ally. She saw the humans working alongside the Eldarians, their actions driven by a genuine desire to help, not to control. The humans' technology was remarkable, and their skills in restoring the city's infrastructure were impressive. But it was their empathy and respect for the Eldarian way of life that truly won over the collective. They saw how the humans treated the Eldarians with patience and sensitivity, adapting their technology to work harmoniously with a city's intricate network of interconnected systems. They saw how they worked alongside Eldarian healers, sharing knowledge and resources. Slowly, the Eldarian Collective began to see the humans not as a threat, but as potential partners, their shared experiences with the Vord forging a bond of mutual understanding. The humans, in turn, learned to appreciate the Eldarians' deep connection with their world, their resilience in the face of adversity, and their unique perspective on life. This growing trust and respect between the two civilizations was a beacon of hope in a galaxy ravaged by war. It was a testament to the power of compassion and understanding, the potential for collaboration even between species seemingly so different. It was a sign that, perhaps, even in a galaxy consumed by violence, there was still room for peace, for healing, and for a shared future. The galaxy, once painted in shades of war and despair, began to shimmer with a newfound hope. The arrival of the humans, a species radiating compassion and a yearning for understanding, had woven a fragile tapestry of unity between the Vrontians, Eldarians, and themselves. This alliance, forged in the crucible of shared adversity, was a testament to the potential for peace even in the darkest of times. The horizon, a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability, stood as a beacon of progress, its quantum weaver technology mending the shattered remnants of the Vord's reign. The Vrontian, once masters of manipulation and cold efficiency, were humbled by the humans' genuine compassion. The Eldarians, wary of technology that could disrupt their delicate ecosystem, were surprised by the humans' respect for their world and their earnest desire to understand. Admiral Valerius, the stoic and disciplined leader of the Vrontian fleet, found himself wrestling with the dissonance between his ingrained beliefs and the reality of the humans' actions. His lifelong dedication to the Vrontian way, built on power and control, had been shaken by the humans' unwavering commitment to peace and collaboration. He witnessed how the humans, with their seemingly effortless empathy, managed to bridge the chasm of mistrust between the Vrontians and Eldarians. He saw how their technology, imbued with a sense of harmony and respect, facilitated healing and reconstruction across the devastated sectors. He started to question the Vrontian way, the blind reliance on technology and power that had led to their downfall. Elder Thalassa, a beacon of wisdom and understanding for the Eldarians, found herself echoing Valerius's internal conflict. Her initial apprehension towards humans, fueled by the fear of their technology disrupting their interconnected world, began to melt away as she witnessed their genuine concern for the Eldarian ecosystem. She was touched by Dr. Tamara, a human astrophysicist who possessed an understanding of the Eldarian Collective's delicate web of life. Tamara's respect for their culture, her willingness to listen and learn, resonated deeply with Thalassa. She saw in Tamara a reflection of their own collective wisdom, a recognition that progress and harmony could exist in tandem. The human crew, led by Captain Eliana Thorne, a woman driven by a profound sense of empathy and a thirst for knowledge, continued to work tirelessly to mend the galaxy. They understood the deep-seated scars of war and the decades of animosity that had driven the Vrontians and Eldarians apart. They knew that true peace could not be forged through force, but through a shared commitment to understanding and compassion. The humans became a bridge between the two civilizations, a symbol of a new dawn where empathy and understanding could replace fear and suspicion. Their presence, a beacon of hope in a galaxy scarred by conflict, fostered a sense of unity that had been absent for generations. Their gentle guidance, their unwavering belief in the possibility of peace, began to weave a tapestry of trust, hope, and a shared future. The tension in the chamber was palpable, a thick silence hanging in the air as representatives from the Vrontian Empire, the Eldarian Collective, and the human Horizon crew gathered for the first formal peace treaty negotiations. The centuries-long animosity between the Vrontians and Eldarians, punctuated by the recent Vord invasion, had left scars across the galaxy. The humans, with their unique perspective and seemingly effortless ability to bridge cultural divides, were the unexpected catalyst for this unprecedented gathering. Admiral Valerius, a man hardened by years of war, sat at the head of the Vrontian delegation. He had witnessed the horrors of the Vord invasion firsthand, a brutal reminder of the cost of his unwavering belief in Vrontian superiority. Yet, the humans had shown him a different path, a path of cooperation and understanding. His gruff demeanor softened slightly as he looked at Captain Thorne, whose calm demeanor and unwavering commitment to peace had earned his grudging respect. Across the table sat Elder Thalassa, the Eldarian representative. She had been hesitant to trust the humans, fearful of their technology and the potential disruption it posed to their interconnected world. However, the humans had proven their dedication to understanding, not conquering. Thalassa had witnessed firsthand Dr. Tamara's respect for the Eldarian ecosystem, her genuine concern for the Eldarian people, and her tireless efforts to help them rebuild. Thalassa's initial skepticism was slowly replaced by cautious hope. The negotiations were a delicate dance, a careful balancing act between trust, compromise, and a deep-seated desire for peace. The Vrontians, still clinging to their belief in technological supremacy, initially insisted on a strict hierarchy with them at the helm. They envisioned a unified galaxy, a model of Vrontian order and control. The Eldarian, however, fiercely defended their independence and their interconnectedness. They saw unity as a collaborative web, a shared responsibility rather than a hierarchical structure. The humans, ever the mediators, advocated for a more nuanced approach, a balance of shared governance and individual autonomy. Captain Thorne, drawing upon her knowledge of human history and the lessons learned from their own conflicts, proposed a system of council meetings where each species would have a voice and a say in galactic affairs. This proposal was met with initial resistance from both the Vrontians and Eldarians. The Vrontians believed in their own superior judgment, while the Eldarians were deeply concerned about losing their unity. The impasse lasted for days, the tension in the chamber thick with frustration and apprehension. Finally, it was Valerius who broke the stalemate. He had witnessed the humans' unwavering commitment to peace, their dedication to healing, and their respect for the unique strengths of each species. He had also seen the devastation the Vord had wrought, and he knew that Vrontian dominance was not the answer. With a sigh, he conceded to Captain Thorne's proposal. He would agree to a council system, a collaborative effort where all three species would have an equal say in galactic affairs. His decision was met with a mixture of relief and apprehension, but it was a crucial first step towards a true unified galaxy. The Eldarians, observing Valerius's shift in perspective, saw a flicker of hope. Thalassa, her voice a soft but unwavering hum, agreed to the council, but with a condition. The Eldarian Collective, she explained, would need a guarantee of autonomy, a commitment to respect their unique way of life and their interconnectedness. The Vrontians, humbled by the events of the past, readily agreed. The humans, having facilitated this monumental shift in perspective, offered their unique expertise and advanced technology to assist both the Vrontians and Eldarians in rebuilding their worlds. They pledged to share their knowledge and resources, not as a force of domination, but as a partner in a shared future. The peace treaty was a fragile agreement, a testament to the resilience of three vastly different species united by a common desire for peace. It was a new beginning, a hope for a future where understanding and collaboration would prevail. It was a long road ahead, but the signing of the peace treaty marked a crucial turning point, a beacon of hope in a galaxy scarred by war. The signing of the Galactic Treaty was a momentous occasion, a beacon of hope in a galaxy ravaged by war. Yet, the celebration was tempered with a deep-seated unease. The Vord were gone, but their scars remained, etched into the fabric of every civilization. The Vrontians and Eldarians, once bitter enemies, now found themselves tentatively united, but lingering distrust and resentment simmered beneath the surface. The humans, with their open-hearted approach and genuine desire for peace, were seen as a bridge between these two deeply divided species. However, even their efforts could not erase the centuries of animosity. The Eldarians, bound by their collective consciousness, found it difficult to trust the individualistic humans, who they perceived as unpredictable and driven by fleeting emotions. The Vrontians, burdened by their rigid hierarchy and a history of expansionism, struggled to reconcile their own ingrained beliefs with the human ideal of shared responsibility. The first hurdle was the establishment of a galactic council. The Vrontians, accustomed to leading, demanded a dominant role, while the Eldarians, fearing another power imbalance, advocated for a more decentralized system. The humans, caught in the middle, saw the value in both perspectives. They understood the Vrontians' desire for stability and the Eldarians' need for autonomy. They proposed a system of rotating leadership, where each species would hold the chair for a specific period, ensuring that no single entity held sway over the galaxy. The Vrontians balked at this proposal. They saw it as a sign of weakness, a concession to the Eldarians' perceived fragility. The Eldarian, however, found it to be a promising step towards genuine equality. The humans, with their unwavering commitment to peace, persisted, highlighting the benefits of collaboration and reminding everyone that their shared survival depended on mutual trust and respect. The next challenge lay in establishing a system of justice. The Vrontians, reliant on their own rigid legal system, struggled to understand the Eldarians' concept of collective accountability. The Eldarians, in turn, found the Vrontians' reliance on punishment to be counterproductive, believing that true healing required understanding and forgiveness. The humans, with their own history of both legal systems and restorative justice, offered a compromise. They suggested a system that combined elements of both Vrontian law and Eldarian reconciliation, creating a hybrid approach that acknowledged the individual and the collective. The Vrontians were hesitant at first, but they eventually recognized the value of such a nuanced system. They realized that their own legal code, while effective in maintaining order, lacked the empathy and understanding that the humans and Eldarians emphasized. The Eldarians, after much deliberation, also agreed, recognizing that such a system could potentially address the root causes of conflict and promote lasting peace. The journey towards a new galactic order was arduous. The Vrontians and Eldarians, with their conflicting histories and deeply ingrained beliefs, faced constant friction. The humans, acting as mediators and facilitators, found themselves caught in the middle, desperately trying to bridge the gap between two disparate cultures. Yet, they held on to a fragile hope. They saw the seeds of change, the tentative steps towards mutual understanding, and the nascent desire for peace that bloomed within both civilizations. The path ahead was uncertain, but they remained committed to their mission, to forge a new galactic order where understanding, empathy, and respect held sway. This was their legacy, their contribution to a universe where peace, not war, could reign supreme.